What actually is money?
Yes. That's such a deep rabbit hole of a question. What is money? Money is money is three things. Money is a store of value, a medium of exchange, and a unit of account. And really what money is to me is money is a proxy for human time. We're all born with the sort of same scarce resource. We have a certain amount of time. We have a life. We don't know how much that is, but it's in a range. Some people get 10 years, unfortunately. Some people get 120 years, right? But everybody has a scarce amount of human time and attention that they can spend on this planet. And what we use is money as a proxy for human time. And so when you work a job, you're spending your time and you're being paid in money. And ideally, you're getting more time out than you put in, right? So if you work a job, we all have this idea in basically every Western society on Earth, every global society on Earth, that you should be able to put in your time, effort, and energy when you're young and vigorous, and you should be able to take some of that energy out and essentially retire with dignity, have leisure time to do what you want, be able to spend time with your family, and everybody's looking for the perfect balance of that, right? Where things can sometimes tip into malice with human beings is that human beings like to perpetrate time theft on other human beings. And if you look at almost all of the worst human atrocities, they all boil down to time theft. Murder is the ultimate time theft. Slavery is definitely a form of time theft. And we have all these subtle versions of those extreme versions of time theft in the world today. So if I'm working a job and I'm selling my time, energy, and effort into the marketplace, and then the proxy, the money that I'm receiving back for that amount of human life capital that I expended, is being inflated away from underneath me, that is a version of time theft. And I think that most people, when they hear that, feel that that's evil and shouldn't be allowed to continue.
So what defines good money?
Yeah, so good money, going back to what we talked about with money being a proxy for human time, good money is a proxy for human time that is essentially immutable, that doesn't degrade over time. So if you think about, for a long time in humanity, we had gold. Gold was humanity's global money for about 5,000 years. There were other money substrates that existed along that time period, but when you look at the big sweeping arc of human history, it's really just gold. And gold is a tremendous technology for transporting value through time because gold does not degrade, right? It's also very, very difficult to create gold. And so, we had a tremendous proxy for human time. But as we reached modernity, gold was not able to be transported very fast. If you think about how heavy gold is, how easy it is to centralize gold, how physical it is, it worked very well for a time period when nobody really moved, greater than 30 miles beyond the town that they were born in, right? But as we moved out into cities and began to live in cities and, we began to have to send information and money across the world, and suddenly you were having business relationships with people in Japan, for instance, gold was no longer a monetary technology that was a good substrate. So what makes a good money is a good proxy for human time. You want to be able to, if you're going to be paid in money for expending your time, energy, and effort, you want to be able to be sure that money doesn't degrade over time, that proxy doesn't degrade, that your time is stored effectively, and that you'll be able to use it when you see fit for leisure, for retirement, for goods and services that might greatly enhance the quality of your life. So the more fidelity you have, the more immutability you have, the closer that your proxy tracks your actual human time, the better money it's going to be.
So why do we need Bitcoin?
Bitcoin is the next evolution in monetary technology. Bitcoin builds on the back of gold, except for with gold, you had a tremendous ability to store value across time, but not necessarily a very good ability to move value across space. And so we had basically the fiat standard, paper money, which, seek to write this limitation in gold. So you were able to move value across time, but not across space. Then when, we had telecommunications, it became easy to use paper money and double entry accounting ledger systems in order to move money across space. And so fiat was a tremendous monetary technology for moving value across space, but not necessarily across time, because fiat tends to degrade over time. We've seen 2% annual inflation throughout the birth of, the American dollar. And so If you were holding American dollars for 100+ years, you lost the vast majority of your wealth, the vast majority of your value, the vast majority of your time, because again, money is a proxy for human time. And so now we have Bitcoin, which is a tremendous monetary technology for moving value across both space and time. Bitcoin is immutable. Bitcoin has a programmatic monetary policy. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. Bitcoin is extremely, extremely scarce. Bitcoin is disinflationary, moving to deflationary, similar to gold. And over time, we feel confident that, we've seen Bitcoin's logarithmic curve rise in value. We feel confident that Bitcoin will continue to rise in value over time. And at least when it reaches its zenith, or the S-curve of its adoption, it will continue to be able to hold purchasing power over time. That is to say, you will be able to store your human time in Bitcoin and be able to access it when you need it. Now, at the same time, Bitcoin's an information technology, and so we're able to seamlessly zap money across the planet instantly using second layer protocols like the Lightning Network. And even the main chain of Bitcoin, which is the most secure way to transact Bitcoin, has 10 to 15-minute wait times on average, depending how much you want to pay to get in the block. And so Bitcoin is a tremendous monetary technology for the modern digital age. And in some ways, it's a very progressive technology because the tech that is used to make Bitcoin go is extremely cutting edge. But at the same time, it's a very restorative technology because it gives us back what we lost on the gold standard.
Why is decentralization important?
So back to the question of time theft. So when you have a single issuancer for a currency, say a central bank who's issuing a fiat currency, and they have the ability to press a button and change the monetary policy of that currency, or the amount of monetary units of that currency, well, they're able to press a button and from far away steal your human time. If you were storing time in this, in this proxy, which is the money that you're using, and somebody, decides to inflate the amount of units that are in the supply, that are circulating, then suddenly the units that you're holding are worth less. You just took a wave of dilution, right? And we have this problem called the Cantillon effect, where the new money that gets created goes to the people that are already wealthy, and the people that are not wealthy, they tend to get the short end of the stick on this. Most people that aren't wealthy don't have significant investments. They're not able to store their wealth over time in investments, in equities and things of this nature. Most people don't even have access to these markets. Something like, I think it's 60% of the world lives on less than $3 a day. And so if you're living on less than $3 a day, I mean, it is absolutely crucial that your money act as a significant one-to-one proxy for your time expended. And if it doesn't act like a significant one-to-one proxy for the amount of time that you expended, the energy and effort that you put in, then you're having your time, your life, pieces of your life stolen away from you. And to me, that's immoral. That's why I think it's important that we, spread this message about what Bitcoin is as far and wide as we possibly can.